Everyone talks about AI governance, tech diplomacy, geopolitical influence, but almost no government understands the behavioral architecture underneath it. I'm Andrei, I work in public diplomacy and strategic communication, and I map the human blueprints that sit inside diplomacy, platforms, AI systems, and power networks. And here's the truth. Tech diplomacy is not about technology, it's about incentives, trust, and behavioral engineering, and most institutions are blind to that layer. Many think AI governance is technical. It's not. It's behavioral. Behind every platform decision, every algorithm tweak, every moderation policy, there is a human incentive, a political pressure, a behavioral expectation, and a hidden trade-off. This is human blueprint 4. Momentum's magnet, luring others with their own energy. Systems behave according to the pressures built inside them, not the rules written on paper. This is from my book in Southeast Africa. I saw how a youth digital program collapsed because incentives rewarded visibility rather than community trust. We redesigned the behavioral flow and recruitment stabilized within weeks. That's the work. Diplomacy used to be state versus state. Now it's states versus platforms, platforms versus regulators, NGOs versus opaque algorithms, AI labs versus geopolitical actors, and public institutions caught in the middle. And the mistake governments keep making? They negotiate technology without understanding the behavioral systems that drive it. They regulate code instead of regulating incentives. Let me show you something governments and commentators keep missing, and it's the heart of tech diplomacy. Recently, a U.S. congressman was furious because a private phone call between a foreign diplomat and a U.S. envoy Witkoff was allegedly intercepted by some three-letter agency and leaked to Bloomberg. But his outrage focused on the technical part and the content leaked. What almost nobody talked about was the real damage, the destruction of the interaction that makes diplomacy possible. This is Human Blueprint 18, the decoy art, camouflage, deceive, and disguise to seduce. For thousands of years, diplomacy worked because people could speak bluntly, hypothetically, even emotionally, without every sentence being weaponized. From Renaissance Italy to Kennedy Khrushchev to Kissinger's secret China trip, progress came from protected space, where both sides could test stories about each other's intentions. That safety is not a luxury. When a negotiator knows they might be leaked, recorded, or publicly shamed, their brain moves into defensive mode. Rehearsed statements, zero-sum thinking, tribal posturing, no risk, no creativity. That is what technical leaks destroy, the behavioral architecture that allows adversaries to measure each other's leverage. And this matters for tech diplomacy, because today governments negotiate with platforms, platforms negotiate with states, AI labs negotiate with regulators, and none of this works if every exploratory conversation risks becoming a headline. When we cheer leaks because we dislike the people involved, we're sawing off the branch we all sit on. That is the blind spot policymakers keep missing. Negotiation safety is not a privilege. It is a structural condition for trust. Tech companies operate with behavioral scientists, reputation engineers, incentive designers, trust and safety teams. Most governments, they have a legal document and hope. This is why digital governance keeps failing. You cannot regulate what you don't understand. You cannot negotiate with a system while blind to its behavioral blueprint. Governments are now negotiating with AI labs, platform states, decentralized networks, youth influencers, cyber actors, transnational tech ecosystems. If they can't see the behavioral systems underneath, they will lose every negotiation, politely, legally, and publicly. This is where influence strategy fits. I map the behavioral skeleton of these ecosystems. Incentives, trust pathways, manipulation vectors, so institutions can actually govern, not perform. Tech diplomacy is not about technology. It's about the influence of human behavior, and influence can be redesigned. If you're a government, ministry, board, or international organization and you need a behavioral audit, a negotiation blueprint, a trust map of your ecosystem, or an influence architecture for AI governance, DM me. Influence isn't magic, it's structural.